All right, here he is, the Prince of Peru, Claudio Puelles, back on the show, who's taking on Dan Hooker next on November the 12th at UFC 281. Claudio, how are you?
Hey, very good, Ryan. Thank you for having me today.
Yeah,
Excited for the upcoming fight.
no doubt. Always a pleasure to have you on, my man. I want to start with your last fight. I loved your in the cage post fight with Daniel Cormier, calling out Twitter for not giving you your blue check. So I see that isn't still in place yet. You don't have your blue check. So please tell me that the UFC has brought you onto the Spanish commentary team.
Yeah. So part of the request about Twitter didn't go very well, but it doesn't matter. I'm I don't care about Twitter no more. So it's all the focus is on Instagram now. So bye Twitter. and but yes, my other request about being in the Spanish commentary team went very well. I've done 6 shows so far, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, that's been going very well. I actually had to say no to a show October 29 because it's 2 weeks before my fight, and I'm trying to get all the focus I can on my fight on MSG against Dan Hooker. So I'm gonna have to pass on that one. But yeah, it's been going pretty good. It's a good experience to have.
That's fantastic. I'm fortunate enough to do a couple of commentary roles for regional shows in my neck of the woods. I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite things to do. Do you feel like when you're done fighting, this could be a full-time role for you?
It's actually it's something I've gave some thought. I do like commentating. It could be a way after I retire. I feel like I still have a long way to go on fighting, but it is something I do like. I enjoy. My favorite subject for sure. So yeah, I can see myself doing that more in the future.
All right, very good. Well, let's recap that fight with Clay Guida. I mean, beating a legend, someone that's been around the game for a very long time, and you did it impressively in the first round. Now you're on a 5-fight win streak. I mean, has life ever been as good as it is for you right now?
No, I gotta say it's the best moment for me right now. All the attention I'm getting, and I just realized I'm about to be the first. If I'm not wrong, about to be the first Peruvian to ever be on a main card on a pay-per-view. So yeah, that was pretty big. I last fight against Clay, I was co-main event on a fight night, of course. Now I'm gonna have a spot on the main card in MSG on a great card, one of the best 3 cards in the year, I believe. And yeah, I have that spot. They're giving me that for a reason, They believe in me, and well, of course, I've been like getting these wins, but I think I'm gonna achieve a new like ranking amongst the people after I get this dub. And yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Now, I didn't get a chance to talk to you before your fight with Clay. Did you expect to get him out of there that early, or did you feel like this fight, could have gone longer or should have gone longer?
Honestly, I prepared for longer. I thought I was gonna go at least 2 rounds. I was expecting probably a 3-round war because I know he's pretty tough. He's an absolute legend. I just saw a post of him on Instagram saying I think he just made 16 years with the UFC. So that's something crazy. He has so many fights and a great guy, of course. Uh, so yeah, it wasn't for sure not part of my plan to take him out that easy, but we're always looking for finishes. We're always like trying to get those bonuses. We're always trying to uh, get in there, and if we can win without a scratch, why not take it, right?
Right. I got to imagine it must be kind of surreal for you because right now you're just kind of coming in to your prime. And when you were a younger fighter, I'm sure you were watching Clay Guida in the UFC do his thing. How crazy is that for you now to be where you're at, to go in there and to beat someone that you were watching, really compete at a high level when you were a younger fighter?
Yeah, it felt great. It felt great because well, I always believed in me. I always believe I like since I was coming up that I could get in there and like do like go to the great fights with the best and beat some of the best. But a lot of people don't, like when I was coming up, like growing up, and I was like telling them I was gonna be a UFC fighter and nobody believed me. Okay, now that I'm in the UFC, they match me up with like let's say Clay Guida, and people are like, whoa, like is he really gonna fight Clay Guida? This guy's been like doing it forever. I'm like, yeah, but I've been doing it forever too. I mean, not as long as him, but forever. I'm only 26, so like most of my life has been like training, thinking about these fights, training for these fights. So yeah, at some point it's gotta become reality, you know. And I'm making it. I'm making a real every day. I'm putting so much hard work that the only thing that I want is to represent my people, represent myself, like do what I do best in there. I think that's how I can resume like how I like come into these like big moments.
For sure. Well, again, things are going great for you right now. A 5-fight win streak, just beating Clay Guida, and you're in one of the deepest divisions in the UFC. I mean, the lightweight division, as everyone knows, a lot of people feel like it's the best of the best. There's so many great fighters, top to bottom. When you look at the top right now, I wanted to get a couple of fight picks from you. A teammate of yours, Michael Chandler, is going to be taking on Dustin Poirier around the corner. You got the title fight between Oliveira and Makhachev. Who do you see winning those two fights?
And yeah, like you said, top 15, the whole top 15 in lightweight is crazy right now. Very, very talented people. A lot of people, I know a lot of 55ers are like considered dropping to 145 just because of they think it's gonna be easier. But you know, times change, and like I think all divisions are gonna be tough at some moment. But right now, for sure, lightweight is crazy. Talking about those specific fights, I think that fight between Chandler and Poirier, I think it's a great fight. Coming up, I will look at. I remember when I was like 17, looking at Poirier's documentary Fight Bill. That was pretty nice. Like I remember, I would get motivated watching that. But Chandler's my teammate now, and I see he's training very hard, very very experienced guy as well. Both of them are. You know, you can't take anything away. I'm going for Chandler, but I expect a hard fight, and I really hope Chandler like uses his wrestling for this fight. You know, I think he has the grappling advantage for sure. Like I know we've all seen like a lot of striking from Michael Chandler in his UFC stint so far, but we cannot forget like how much wrestling he has. He has so much power in his wrestling. Like he's a bull, and I think he can get the win. But I want to see him use his wrestling for this fight. And for the title, man, I don't know. This is hard fight. I don't even want to pick nobody. I just want to watch the fight and see who comes out on top. I think I've publicly like stated I think Charles is gonna win, but every week I change my mind. I don't know. One week I might say Charles, the other week I might say Islam. These are I believe right now the two best in the division, like today. So yeah, I'm gonna enjoy watching it, and yeah, let's just see who ends up the champ, and all that can change. You know, in 6 months, like somebody else is gonna be the best. In 6 months, somebody else is gonna be the best. But today, I think those two guys need to see who ends up with the belt.
Yeah, I can't wait for that title fight. And to go on the Michael Chandler topic, you mentioned, how he's looking in camp. I have to imagine he's got to be one of your main training partners, right? Like, are you getting a lot of work in with him?
Actually, he's not one of my main training partners. The reason being, Dan Hooker is very tall and striker right-handed. Mike's more of a explosive, like kind of like Mike Tyson, the shorter guy. So I've gotten some training with him, of course. Like we always talk, but we are not like our main training picks right now because of those reasons. Well, his opponent is also southpaw like me, but I'm not like Poirier is a boxer. I'm not a boxer. Yeah, we get some rounds in sometimes, but like I said, the height for me is the main reason. Like he's not my main training partner right now, but I do like talking with him, and he KO'd the guy I'm gonna fight, so that always like helps a little.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you got to be able to pick his brain and learn a little bit
Yeah,
about what he saw in the cage with Dan. I did see on your Instagram Eddie Alvarez, Gilbert Burns. I mean, you've got world class fighters around you day in and day out. Who have been the main guys that you're getting that work in for this camp?
no like big names like the ones you mentioned, but really tough guys. Like I can't take anything away. Like maybe as tough as the guys you mentioned. Like all these maybe like my weight. Like most of some of these guys are welterweights. I did get some work with former UFC fighter Ismail Nardiev. Very young kid, like very talented, crazy, like very good. I don't know how he like got out of the UFC, but well, he's fighting for a title fight soon. Yeah, I got some good work with him. He's a good striker, like tall guy as well. And yeah, some other guys that maybe coming up in the regionals, but are really tough. Like some really tough guys. Like there's so much talent in Kill Cliff FC. It's crazy.
I actually just interviewed Ismail earlier today.
Oh,
You have to imagine, you expect him to be back in the UFC, right? I mean, he's too talented not to land in the biggest promotion in the world.
it's crazy. It's crazy. Like he probably got in very young. He got some tough fights. He won some. He lost some. But yeah, he's gonna make his way back. His way back. He's about to fight for a belt this weekend, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, the 19th.
So the 19th. So yeah, you know this kid is crazy. He's only 26 years old. The kid's gonna be champ for sure.
Why is Kill Cliff FC the best camp in the world right now?
I think the amount of motivated, more, I don't want to say talented, because talent is just like, you can work talent and you cannot work talent. You understand what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like the amount of disciplined people that is there day and night is nuts. Like it's impossible to come and be lazy. It's just like not a thing. Like people are just in there all day training, all the sessions that are pretty tough, and then doing extra work, and then talking about fighting, and then watching fighting. And I don't know, it's just a lot of tough guys, a lot of great coaching. If you put up a plan, the plan's gonna like end up working, over time. Like they're gonna plan something with you, and they're gonna build on that until like it becomes a reality. It's been less than 2 years for me, but I already feel like home.
Yeah, and there's just so many studs at that gym getting that work in. I mean, some of the best fighters on planet Earth are there, and they just seem to keep coming there, wanting to go there. And the gym just keeps growing and growing from what it looks like from the outside looking in, anyways. Now, when you first got this matchup, Dan Hooker, what was your initial thoughts? This is a guy that the MMA world knows very well. He's been fighting at a high level for a while now. What was your initial thoughts when you got matched up with Dan Hooker?
Well, first, I was very excited because that was a match I've been requesting since May. Since I sat down with Sean Shelby and we discussed like my future and my next opponent. There was a couple options on the table, but that was the one that made sense. The date makes sense because he gave me a couple other options, but it was like pretty soon, and I had a trip scheduled to Peru. I was gonna like get back to my people, and I was not gonna cancel my trip that was in like 3-4 days to take a short notice fight. But yeah, I enjoyed my time. They made me wait a little more than I thought, than I wanted, but I finally got the fight that I wanted. I got scared a couple of times because I saw like some like fake news fights for Dan Hooker, and I was like, come on, really? But yeah, I finally got what I wanted, what they were telling me. Yeah, like I said, it was not like it caught me for like by surprise, because I've been really expecting for the fight. It did get me by surprise, the date. It was like pretty pushed back from when I thought, but I think he was changing management. He was making some changes probably in his like I don't know, routine, whatever. So yeah, if I know he's never scared of anyone, so I wouldn't expect him to be scared of me, of course. But yeah, he got the timing right for him. I was waiting, so I was ready all the time. But yes, I think it's perfect matchup. Yeah, I'm really glad I'm fighting Dan Hooker.
Yeah, thanks for clearing that up too, because when you fought Clay Guida, that was in April. So I thought that I was going to see you back in the octagon before November 12th, but happy that you got the matchup that you wanted, and you're doing it at Madison Square Garden, November the 12th, UFC 281. It doesn't get any bigger than that, man. How excited are you to fight at MSG?
Hey, I'm gonna throw a post about this in a little, maybe tomorrow, because it's pretty crazy, man. It is pretty crazy. I think it was yesterday that I realized they gave me. I was like, I'm actually on the main card because that thing just came out on ESPN. Like I am gonna be on the main card. I was like having doubts if I was gonna be the first fight on the main card, or maybe close in the prelims or something like that. That was kind of like my thought of what was gonna happen. But I ended up being the second fight on the main card, just one before Chandler and before the title fight. So yeah, I cannot really get much bigger than that at this point in my career. That's like the best they can give me right now until I get ranked. So I'm pretty excited, pretty happy. Like I said, first Peruvian to be on a main card and on a huge card, one of the best cards in the year, in my opinion. So yeah, I expect that card's gonna deliver November 12th.
Now, with you and Chandler fighting back to back, who's going to be in your corner? Is it going to be the same guys, or are they going to have to divvy up the coaching to be with you versus him?
Yeah, I don't know. We haven't, like I said, I just found out yesterday. I don't even know if my coaches know like that already. But yeah, I'm sure we're probably gonna have a conversation about that next week, and we probably share at least one coach. So I don't know how. I've never been in this situation in the UFC, so we'll see what happens.
Okay, fair enough. Now, you already gave your prediction with Chandler and Poirier, and obviously you're going with your teammate. You expect him to win, and what I feel like could be fight of the night. I can't wait for that one. It's going to be an absolute barn burner. But I wanted to get your pick for the main event: Israel Adesanya, Alex Pereira. That is for the middleweight title. Who do you see winning that? Are we going to have an and new, or is he going to retain?
Hey, I'm sorry, but I gotta roll with the South American boys. Yeah, Adesanya is cool and everything, but I don't know. He's been playing it too safe for me lately, and I think I do think Alex has the tools to take him to a decision win or whatever. I don't know. I don't want to say he knocked him out or anything, but he played very safe lately. But with opponents he can play safe. I don't think with like a tall, very good boxing base and long Alex Pereira he can play the same game. So yeah, I hope to see a good fight and not like what's been happening over his last couple of fights.
Okay, yeah, well, another fight that you don't want to miss, that main event, the middleweight title. Well, let's talk about you and Dan Hooker. Again, this is a guy that's been around for a while. He's lost 4 of his last 5, so he's coming in motivated. But when you look at who he's been in there with, your teammate right now, Michael Chandler, his opponent, Dustin Poirier, Islam Makhachev, Arnold Allen. So he's only losing to the absolute elite out there. How do you see this fight going, Claudio? Do you feel like this is going to be a war where it goes into the third round and the judges have to make a decision, or do you feel like you're going to be able to get him out of there?
Well, I think I'm going to get him out of there. Like, I really think I'm going to get him out of there. He's pretty tough. He's pretty durable, but yeah, I'm pretty good too. And I believe I'm part of the lead. If it's just a matter of time, you just got to prove it to the people over and over until they start like calling you part of the elite. It's just the name of the game. We as fighters know this before they name us this, like before somebody call us like these names. So yeah, I believe I'm gonna get him out of there before the end of the third round. Yeah, I respect him. I'm not like trash talking, but I believe in my skills, and I think I'm preparing. I'm doing everything I can in preparation to don't leave it to the judges that day, or leaving it to the judges, whatever. But picking my hand up. It's pretty tough, and it's only 3 rounds.
Right. That is true. Without giving your game plan away, do you feel like you're going to hold a significant advantage in a certain area of this fight?
I'm pretty good everywhere, honestly, and he's pretty good striker as well. Some people think his grappling is not very good, but he's actually good. I do think he's good, but he's been like a little. I've been kind of flawless in my grappling, and he's shown some mistakes. So I don't know how confident is he. Last time somebody tried to be confident with me in the grappling in my last fight, I took his knee in like 2 or 3 minutes.
With Hooker being ranked number 14, if you go in there, you beat him and you finish him, obviously that's going to move you right into the mix of things in the top 15. As long as you're healthy, how active are you trying to be in 2023?
I'll try to do 3 fights. It just gets tough. Like this year, like I had no reason not to do 3 fights, but look, they made me wait so long, and I end up getting the fight in November. I do maybe sound like I'm complaining a little bit, but I'm so excited I got this huge fight. So I'm like, if they're gonna ask me like, you want this fight or you don't, or you want 3 fights a year, I don't know. Like, just opportunities just come up and you gotta take them. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. And if you ask me, of course, my preference would be 3 fights a year for obvious reasons.
Right. Okay. And now you have the commentary gig going too. So you're a busy man. Well, Claudio, I really can't wait for this one. Again, November 12th, UFC 281. Claudio Puelles back in action against Dan Hooker. Really is always a pleasure talking to you, my man. Before we do sign off, I want to give you the floor as always. Please tell people where they can follow you on social media. If you have anything to plug, any sponsors, the floor is yours.
Thank you, brother. Hey, I have one question for you before
Sure.
that. That jersey you have behind you, not the jersey, I'm sorry, the UFC
Right
yeah,
here.
to your right, yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Whose name is that? I'm trying to read and I can't read very well from far.
That's GSP, George St.
Oh
Pierre.
yeah, okay. That's what I thought. I was like, does that say Saint Pierre?
And then I
Nice.
have, I don't know how you can see, I got Nate Diaz right behind me right there too. That's
Nice.
I gotta go this way. There you go.
Okay. Well, you got a nice little collection in there, I gotta
Thank
say.
you. Thank you. I try and change it up a little bit.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. Well, my guy, thank you very much for having me in the program. You guys can follow me on Instagram mainly. I'm trying to show a lot of my life on Instagram, just for the people. I know people like seeing like how we live, what we do. Like, my camps are pretty fun. I have a lot of people around me all the time. I have a big team. We're always doing the fun stuff. So follow me at Claudio Puelles, Claudio _Puelles. Just my name, pretty easy to find. And then yeah, thank you again, brother, for having me. Thank you, Ryan.